Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Jyotirmaya Yoga. We focus on spirituality, a journey to self realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings of the scriptures and enjoy daily satsang with us. We are currently exploring the book The Art of Positive Feeling, authored by Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. Currently, we are on the topic of anger, a very important topic, and how to control it, and so on. So, continuing, soap and water for the mind. It must be well understood that if you did not encounter gross personalities, people who are crooked and difficult, there would be no evolution. No one would become a saint if there were no demoniac personalities. God, in His infinite wisdom, has provided all types of people to interrelate with each other for the purpose of learning and growth. By their inspiring examples and influence, saintly people go on urging those who are not saintly to advance spiritually. On the other hand, by their gross nature and by continuously creating difficulty for others, demoniac personalities go on urging the saints to attain even loftier states of perfection. Therefore, you should not look upon the unsaintly personalities as having no place in the world. As Kabira says, if you find someone who insults you constantly, appreciate that person and give them a place in your home, for that person will purify your mind without the help of soap and water. If you want to increase your physical strength, you may have to go to a gym or a health spa and pay a lot of money. However, if mental strength is what you are after, the project is a simple one. Simply cherish everyone who constantly criticizes you and never allow you a moment's peace, and do whatever you can to keep them around, for he or she affords you the opportunity of gaining immense mental strength by keeping your mind alert, your will effective, and your introspection keen, and you don't have to pay a cent for their services. Welcoming Durvasa. The Hindu scriptures have given us a wealth of colorful stories about the angry sage Durvasa Rishi. The following story is one of the most intriguing because it reveals the highest philosophical understanding that can propel an aspirant high above the petty realms of anger. When one remembers Durvasa's extraordinary antics and their mystic implications, the war against anger becomes almost delightful. Once upon a time, an imposing looking Brahman appeared in Dwarka where Lord Krishna had his palace. He was wearing tattered clothes and carried a stick in his hand. He had a strange mustache and beard and was unusually thin and tall. Whenever he saw anyone, he announced, "Here I am, my name is Durvasa. Who could give me hospitality? There is, however, this condition. If you make the slightest mistake in attending on me, I may destroy you with my anger." So, knowing this, is there anyone who would give me hospitality and who would risk causing me annoyance? Everyone was afraid, and therefore no one came forward to welcome Durvasa. Seeing this, Lord Krishna himself came forward and said, "O sage, I will offer my hospitality and I will consider it a great privilege to do so." Thus Durvasa came to stay at Krishna's palace, and because his demands were beyond human imagination, he created tremendous inconvenience for Krishna's royal household. In one sitting, he could eat up as much food as could be consumed by hundreds of people. At another time, although the royal chefs may have prepared all types of wonderful dishes, he would eat nothing, just pick up a grain and throw everything else away. Without telling anyone, he would suddenly leave, and then he would reappear at any time, even in the middle of the night. All of a sudden, he would start laughing for no reason or start crying for no reason. Once he set all his bedding and clothes on fire and slipped away from the scene. Despite all this, Krishna continued to attend to the demands of the sage and had his entire family do so likewise. On one particular day during his visit, Durvasa came and said, "O Krishna, I want to eat kheer." Kheer is a rice pudding made in India and it's very delicious, sweet. Immediately, accordingly, wonderful pudding kheer was quickly prepared. He took a little of that kheer and said, "O Krishna, this is prasad, sanctified food. Smear it all over your body." Without any objection, Krishna took handfuls of the pudding and smeared it all over his body. While this was going on, Krishna's queen Rukmini smiled. Durvasa's attention was drawn to that smile, and he immediately commanded that Rukmini be yoked to a chariot and pull the chariot just like a horse. Rukmini looked at Krishna for help, but when he didn't say anything, she knew that the order would have to be obeyed. So she allowed herself to be yoked to the chariot and began to pull it with all her strength and might. Then Durvasa took a whip and started whipping her, and since Rukmani was not at all accustomed to this type of treatment, she faltered and fell. Durvasa simply shouted at her, and when she completely collapsed, he jumped out of the chariot and went on by foot as if in great anger. Krishna went after him, trying to appease the sage, his body besmeared with kheer. "O Lord," Krishna said to Durvasa, "be pleased. Please do not be angry with us." Then sage Durvasa said to Krishna, "O Krishna, you have passed the test. You have conquered anger. I have not seen even a single flaw in your conduct, and I am immensely pleased. As a result of pleasing me, you will become the source of attraction for all living beings, the object of infinite love. As long as the world exists, people will sing your glories. You will be the best in the three worlds, dear to all. All the things that I have broken and destroyed will become as if they were, and even better. All the hurt that I have inflicted upon Rukmini will be gone, and she will be perfectly healthy and brighter than ever. And wherever you have smeared the kheer on your body, that part will become invulnerable." Thus saying, sage Durvasa blessed Rukmini, and having expressed his great joy, he vanished. So Durvasa is a personification of trouble and pain, of annoying situations that come in human life. Durvasa comes to visit everyone day by day in the form of situations that cause frustration and rob one of patience. For an aspirant handling these situations, it is like welcoming Durvasa, and he must be careful not to incur his displeasure. If you are handling difficult situations with patience, if even in the most agonizing situations you hold your reason in balance, then you are appeasing Durvasa, that aspect of God who is testing you. The ill temper of Durvasa is based upon a divine meaning and purpose. Though apparently so irrational, he is working out the divine will through the deeper movements of his personality, leading people to their spiritual goal. Naturally, on that path leading to self realization, endurance must reach the highest level possible in an individual. Troubles in human life arise from many sources. 90% of those troubles come from human sources. While interacting with other people, you often find that what you hold as most desirable is not held as desirable by your relative or friend. Then you see your expectations crushed. In turn, you become the crusher of others' expectations. Durvasa is acting mutually among people. Sometimes You become Durvasa for someone else. Sometimes someone else becomes Durvasa for you. Unfortunately, one does not encounter Durvasa. Um, sorry, fortunately, fortunately, one does not encounter Durvasa in his entirety at any one moment. What a blessing! Imagine the full fury. Even little bits of Durvasa are difficult, and that's our daily challenges in life, aren't they? So, if that were so, one would explode. We could not handle so much stress all at one time. If all the annoying situations were to present themselves at once, one could not survive. Therefore, they are given to us little by little. In those human interactions in which different types of personalities clash, tensions sometimes linger for a long time, and yet an aspirant should adopt tremendous patience. This is especially true in situations which seem irrational. As Krishna's behavior in the story illustrates, when you follow the path of controlling the mind and ego, rationally or irrationally does not matter. Your project is simply to develop the necessary self control. You cannot sit back and say, "Oh, I could have controlled my mind under other circumstances, but this situation is too irrational for that." Krishna could have argued with Durvasa, saying, "Why should I smear this kheer all over my body? If you don't like, throw it into the garbage." That would be the modern approach. But no, Krishna, imagine the creator of the universe himself, did not do so. He followed the process. Everyone is joyous when things are pleasant, but life is not always filled with pleasant things. What do you do when unpleasant things come? In unpleasant situations, let not your reason be agitated. Rather, understand that unpleasantness caused by people or situations is a test, a gift of God. And if you handle it well, you develop willpower. With that awareness of inner will, to your surprise, you realize that things that seemed negative are actually positive. Things that were as if destroyed will come to life again. They will be revived. Om Tat Sat. So we will continue this beautiful journey in tomorrow's satsang. Hari Om.